Right, you guys, it's that time again. It's about to be April and we need to get these budgets up and going. We need to know what April's gonna look like, and I got a lot going on. If you haven't seen my April update, I'll link it up in the card above. But I need to make sure that my budget is set in stone for right now so I can go ahead and concentrate on other things. So let's go ahead and open into my budget planner. If you guys are new, I do sticker budgeting, pen and paper kind of situation, and I use an Erin Condren 7x9 monthly planner. And if you see all the stickers and all the ones I'm going to use, they are from my sticker shop at erikalifevlogs.com. So if you're interested in anything, click on the description box, expand it, and you will see all the links. They are affiliates, so that just means that you're gonna help me for free and it supports me and my channel. So yeah, here's what it looks like. A lot of people ask me, hey, how do you set up your budget planner spreads? The first one is always gonna be my calendar, you guys, because I need to see when I get paid and when all my bills fall in. So this is the first spread I always do. After that, I go ahead and yank this page off. I know this planner can be a little expensive sometimes, but it does nothing for me. But after I do my calendar, I go ahead and I skip over a page, and right behind there, I start doing my April budget or just a monthly budget. Doesn't matter what month it is, it's always going to be on this page, because after I set up my calendar and I look at all my bills, I then have to put it together in a budget that makes sense, that, you know, puts every dollar into use, and it breaks down my bills, it breaks down my cash envelopes, it breaks down events that happen in April or any month, and the income I'm expecting. I got my April budget here. I got some washi and more washi to decorate. If you guys order from my shop as of recent, like this week, all color quality is gonna be like 10 times better now since I did upgrade my printers. So just know I upgraded my printers and the colors have changed drastically, but for a good purpose, or at least for the better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some washi. This is just me being decorative. This is totally not necessary. You can go ahead and put just pen and paper to work, or highlighter. If you guys haven't seen my flip through of my budget spreads of when I started, I'm gonna go ahead and link it up in a card above as well, because y'all, you're gonna see the difference between how I used to budget and how I budget now. Now it's a bit more fancy, more bougie, but more calm since I paid a whole lot of debt. So yeah, that is what is happening right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the month that we're working with, which is April. That's gonna be my budget for the entire month. This one is gonna count for everything I'm expecting, but at the end of the month, I will come back, reconcile it, and tweak the numbers in case they have actually changed when I do my April budget. Let's put down my income. And this is for everything that I'm expecting the month to bring in. Now, if you're new to the channel, I only share my personal income stream, anything that I get from my job or currently workers' comp. And if you're wondering why I'm on workers' comp, is because I have my hand injured at work. I've had a surgery and I'm going through a second surgery pretty soon. And the restrictions I have cannot be accommodated by my job. So I'm off and I get paid my lost wages. For those interested, I always get that question. So that's why. So anywho, for April, I'm only expecting 2 paychecks, so I'm gonna go ahead and write those in. So paycheck 1, paycheck number 2, and something that I always forget to write down is my rollover. And good thing I remember, because I think last month I forgot. And rollover is basically everything that I have left over in my bank account that I'm still gonna use for April, because those are allocated funds to pay stuff for April. So if you get paid at the end of the month, like prior to the month starting, you need to save that money, or you need to use it for next month's bills. However, since I like to close my budget for the previous month, I just assign it a job as rollover because it has a job already, and then I just put it back in my budget. So that's how that works. And that is everything I'm expecting. I usually put miscellaneous in case something happens, in case I get some type of income. Last month, I got the stimulus check and I got state refund, which I was totally surprised on that end. I was like, I got a refund. I never get a refund. I pay. I always pay. I mean, I did pay federal taxes, but I got a refund for state taxes, which is completely weird to me, but I'm not complaining. Now, the dates are going to be these right here, the 7th and the 21st. I usually don't write it because depending on how the pay cycle with workers' comp works, I get paid before or after, or sometimes it just changes on its own. So I don't really want to mark the dates, but I will say that I'm always expecting 12/48/32 for my paychecks. For my rollover, if we go back to paycheck number 2 in March, it says I needed to roll over $1,270. However, I don't think I allocated for my health benefits, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So about 1402 is what I'm hoping to roll over for April. Now, I don't know right now because I haven't closed my budget yet. I'm filming ahead of time because I like to film at the end of the last day of the month because that's when all my numbers are set in stone. But yeah, that is all the income I'm planning on working with in April, and I'm not expecting anything miscellaneous because there is no other stimulus check that I know of. There is no other refund. There is no me planning on selling anything. If anything, this month is going to be, you know, dry to the point. We know what's going on. So now that we have all that income down, I'm going to go ahead and add it up for you guys. So for the month of April, I'm expecting to work with $3,899.50. That's what I'm expecting to work with. And now I'm going to go ahead and assign all of that money a job. So the first things are my bills. You know, we all got the bills. The first always comes along and we gotta pay up. We gotta pay up all that money. So the first one that lands on the first is my rent. My rent is a $925. That's just my part. I live in LA, just in case you're curious. After that, I have my health benefits. And if you're wondering how I'm getting all these bills, it's just part of the calendar setup that I did. So make sure you check that video out. And this one pays for medical, vision, life, and dental. And this one is $132.86. At least I think that's how much it is, to be honest. After that, we roll around and then we have to go into paying our natural gas. This is the only house bill that I really take care of besides my rent. And for this, I'll go ahead and estimate $30. The last bill was $27, but I did move. So I don't know if that accounted for like the previous address, but I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to $30. And we're just going to hope that I'm over budgeting and not under budgeting. Then I have to take care of my phone bill. Someone asked me what kind of phone bill I have because my phone bill is $57. Mine is by Spectrum. It's a $45 unlimited plan, and I put $12 insurance on it, and insurance works for me. This phone recently stopped working. I got it fully replaced, so I always pay for insurance just because I know the type of person that I am. I can be clumsy, so you know it's always good for me. But that's what I have. I have a $45 unlimited plan with $12 insurance. Then after, I have my mom's Bank of America card. If you're new to the channel, I shared a credit card with my mom in college. So all I've been doing is paying the minimum. She pays another chunk to throw at debt. We do have a plan to pay it off, but I am concentrating on my debt because this is what's in my name. And then once I'm done with my debt, then we're going to go ahead and make a plan for that. I mean, we do have a plan, but we won't focus until I'm done with my debt that's under my name. So her minimum payment that I always give her is $55. And then the only debt that I have that I pay is my car. So I have a car payment. I bought a car last year, I believe. I have a link up in a card above in case you're interested. And I have to pay $167.31 monthly. That's just my car payment. I have a used 2014 Honda Civic. I love it. I've been paying it off. That is my only debt left. And I can't wait until I'm done with it. And then after that comes the car insurance and my renter's insurance because I like protecting all of my assets. Now, car insurance is kind of weird because I was paying $56, almost $57 for my coverage. However, since I had moved from a quarterly to a monthly plan, it was just compensating for all of that extra chunk that I had in my account as credit. But now I think it's settled and I'm gonna go ahead and budget $106. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I'm gonna budget $23 for renter's insurance. Not sure how that's gonna play. It's usually $19, or it was usually $18, but I'm not sure how that's working, but I think I'm gonna be 23 and I'm perfectly fine. I already shopped around, so I think I'm gonna keep what I have and I'm okay with it. Other than that, I don't think I have any other bills that I know of that can come up at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this portion of my budget. Now, if you guys are wondering about internet, my sticker shop takes care of that. If you guys are wondering about electricity, Bay takes care of that. If you're interested in his channel, I'll have him linked down below because he is now on his own budgeting journey. He is an Excel guy, so if you guys enjoy Excel budgets, check him out. He'll be linked down below. But yeah, he pays for electricity, and then we don't have water or trash because we rent. And for streaming services, because I know that's big for everyone, we share. Some of them are attached to phone plans, some of them other individuals pay for it, and we just have passwords. So that is it. There's nothing more to it. At least I'm not one who pays for it. I'm the one who freeloads. So let me go ahead and close these out with some lines. And let me add all of this up. So it looks like about $1,496.17 is going to go towards bills and expenses. So $1,496.17 is what I'm looking at bills. Then I'm going to go ahead and take care of my cash envelopes. You guys don't know, I am a cash spender. I can't be trusted with a debit card, let alone a credit card. I mean, credit cards don't scare me anymore because, you know, I would never get myself into debt again. Too scared of debt now. But even a debit card can be a little too free spirit for me. So I use cash because it's just a mental thing that I see my money going away and I see how much I have left in my wallet. So we're just gonna leave it as that. So the cash envelopes that I fund, just because that's what I like to carry cash, is groceries, gasoline, my spending money, and even though this is not a cash envelope, I do have an unbudgeted category that I do go ahead and track in case I swipe my card because I was just being reckless and wanting to torture myself by messing up my budget. Now, it sometimes happens for the month of March. Has not happened. I've been very good. I think after moving, I kind of was like, nope, I can't spend a dime outside my budget because I will ruin myself. So we're going to go ahead and put it here. Just going to close these lines so I know not to overwrite in the areas. And for groceries, I do $380. And this takes care of 2 people for the entire month of April. However, Bae does sometimes contribute to groceries. It's just random, I never know, but he does have money aside when I just can't buy any more groceries because I have allotted all my allowances for it. So it's $380 that I put from my part, and then he does contribute from time to time, but mostly he takes care of eating out, so that's a whole different budget on its own. Gasoline, I'm only gonna budget $60. since I might be going through surgery, that might be way too much, and then I might be on a trip, so might not even be using my car. So I'm gonna do 60, 30, and 30 every time I get paid. Spending, I'm gonna leave it at 120, no, 250. That's just been working out for me really great. I haven't been going over it, but I also haven't been under it either. Maybe like $5, but that's about it. So that number has been really working out for me. As for unbudgeted, I don't see any unbudgeted expenses happening, so I'm not actually going to put anything in that category. So I'm going to leave it as is. So in total for cash envelopes, what I'm planning to spend for the total month of March is $690. All right, now that I have my bills and my cash envelopes laid out, now I'm going to think about everything else I want to do with any spare income. And that is why I have a miscellaneous section in my budget. Sometimes when back in 2018, 2017, even sometimes 2019, I couldn't afford to have a miscellaneous category. Usually my bills and my cash envelopes would deplete all my income. However, now that a lot of my income has opened up because of the amount of debt that I've been paying off, I'm allowed to, you know, have a little more room in my budget to do other things, and that's where the miscellaneous budget comes. And with that, I have my anniversary coming, so I want to set money aside for that. Usually here's where I would put my sinking funds. However, my sinking funds were fully funded by the stimulus check. If you haven't seen that cash stuffing, I'll put it up in the card above. So I don't actually have to worry about sinking funds until July, because that's when I will start funding my Christmas fund, which is usually the time I always do it. But other than that, I don't have to really worry about much, except for my anniversary. I don't have birthdays that, you know, I can write down here. All of the birthdays have finally passed, thank God, because December, January, February, and March are all birthday months, and there's so many of them, and now I get a little break from it, so I don't have anything else. So what I'm gonna go ahead and put next is my debt payment. Oh, and before I forget, I need to actually write May's rent. So by what I mean by that is that this rent is part of this rollover that will pay for April's rent, and then the rent that I save this month will go for May's rent, if that makes any sense. But that is what the miscellaneous category is for. I don't have anything else really, nothing that I can really think that is like major pending or that can happen, but if you do, you can go ahead and add them on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my lines. Now for May's rent, I know it's $9.25, just like April's. My anniversary, I'm not sure. I want to kind of add all of this up and see how much I can put for anniversaries and debt payment. So I'm not gonna add that section just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do my budget breakdown over here. Let me see, hopefully this is enough space. So I'm gonna put my income here, bills, expenses, cash envelopes, and then miscellaneous. And I'm gonna go ahead and close that off real quick. So I know for income, I'm expecting to work with $3,899.50. And I know about $1,496.17 is going to be taken away by bills. And then my cash envelopes are going to take out $690 worth of that. So let me see how much I actually have to add to miscellaneous. So $38.99.50 minus $14.96.17 minus $690 minus the $9.25 for my May rent. I have about $788 left to allocate to these funds over here. So I kind of want to do, because okay, I love the Cheesecake Factory. I want to go again. They treated me to Cheesecake Factory in March, but I'm like, I really like it. I like steak, and their steak is good. I don't know what it is, and their drink was really strong too. So that was about $120, I believe, the last time we went. So I'm thinking I'm allocating 150. If you're wondering, we don't actually buy gifts. We buy experiences. So, you know, dates. I think I'm gonna do 150. So if I do 150, I have about $638.33 to throw at my dad. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So that is, I think, what I'm gonna allocate. So let me add that up real quick. So let's do 150 plus 638.33 plus 925. I need about $1,713.33 for the miscellaneous category. And if I add that over here, now let's do the whole breakdown again. $38.99.50 minus bills and expenses, $14.96.17, minus my cash envelopes, and then minus my miscellaneous, $17.13.33. That equals a zero-based budget. So everything that I'm planning to bring into April now has a job. It has a direction. I now know what I'm planning on bringing in for income for the month of April and exactly what I want that income to do. However, that does not mean this is set in stone. That is why we have a budget column and an actual column. What I'm expecting from income might be actually different. What I'm expecting to pay for bills might be different. So as the month goes, your budget will change with you, or it might stay completely the same. However, nothing's ever set in stone. Like I said, you might have unbudgeted expenses. Some miscellaneous things might pop up. You know, you just change as time goes with your budget so it can fit your needs. But once you allocated everything, at least you have the knowledge of what you're expecting to pay. And if something goes a different way than what you want it to, then you have areas where you can see where you can cut off. Like for me, I can cut off my debt payment. I can use a different stream of income to, you know, work with that. Or I can just scratch off anniversary, because then maybe Bay can step in and be like, you know what? No worries, I got you too. So, or we might not even have a date. So if there's areas in your budget that are going, you know, too heavy, like in some areas, then you have other areas that you can cut off to help accommodate those needs. So budgets are personal. They can change as time goes by, and you have the ability to look back and see where you can tweak it. So just remember, every budget is personal. All numbers are personal, and you make the budget what you want it to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this budget. If you need more help on a step-by-step how to create a monthly budget, I'll link an iCard above so you guys can check that video out. I have more in detail of how I do my budget. I explain everything in better detail, so check that out if you need more help. If not, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And let me know, what is something in April that's happening that has you stressed or excited? Because I'm excited and stressed at the same time. And I just want April to get started, get the ball rolling, and setting everything the course I wanted to go. So yes, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye, you guys.